Welcome everybody to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. Today we are going to be covering episode 10 of Hell's Paradise. As always, we are brought to you by The Anime Show. Make sure to check them out on Facebook and Instagram, especially right now, getting all that good anime content for next season because it's just around the corner.
Oh yeah, couple weeks, almost there.
Yep. Lance, you want to give us a quick reminder of what happened in this episode?
Yeah, so in today's episode, we start out with Gabimaru coming in contact with another one of the criminals. His name is Tamiya, and he wants to team up with him because those titans of monsters are becoming a hassle, but more importantly, those Tensins are a big problem, and he can't really take care of them himself quite yet. And we get to learn that the power source that these Tensin use are called Tau. So Tau is pretty cool. And we finish up with the brothers, Toma and Aza. They're scheming. They got some moves coming our way, so they're going to be pretty important in the upcoming future for how they're going to take care of these Tensin.
Yeah. I guess we can kind of just work our way from the front to the back, or the back to the front then. It's because that fight between with Aza and Toma against. Do you remember what they were actually called? Those creatures.
Um, okay, so we have two different kinds of names. We have the Dashi or the
Mm-hmm.
Doshi.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the intelligent monsters.
Yep.
And then I
Yep.
think they were called like Sashi or something like that. It was just slightly different, but it was just, the less intelligent uh guys out there with like the fish heads and
Yep.
the big smiling creepos and
Yep.
just the
The
Titans, really.
so the Dashi were the ones that had their face covered.
Hmm.
Apparently they know how to use Tau as well, so that's
Yep.
kind of cool. And
Yeah.
obviously that's what next episode is going to be basically all about because we have two separate battles going on. Um, he kind of seems to be taking care of Aza. Granted, Aza is very injured
True.
pretty easily. Is that what you
For
took it?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because oh, excuse me. It's because we're learning that this Doshi guy, he can sense that there's Tao in Aza, but Aza doesn't know how to tap into it yet because he can see it throughout his body. So what I'm going to be expecting is that through some kind of anime logic, Aza is going to start tapping into this, and he's going to obliterate this Doshi, and he's going to be, the next formidable foe in order to take on these Tensin, which are going to be coming up maybe in
So
the last episode or at least season two, core two, whatever it's going to be.
yeah, I could see that. That whole fighting for your life, brink of death kind of thing where he just happens to
Exactly.
pull out this super special move with Tau. I could see
Yep.
that. Remember, everything has Tau in it, which is what Shion basically said because the waves that he sees are his ability or his way to be able to see even though he's blind.
Right. Yeah, because that little girl that wants to be trained by him, he knows exactly like her weight, her height, and anything else that he needs to know just by sensing the waves. And little does he know, he's just sensing Tau, but
Yeah.
he thinks of it as waves. So
Yeah, I thought that was a of course it's the blind guy that can
yeah,
sense it.
100% Daredevil stuff going on here.
But I have no reason with it because, it's how else is he this strong?
Right. Yeah, I love the concept. I'm totally on board with it.
Yep. And I thought that his block with against it's Nurugi,
Yep.
her like she tries to stab him in the back to get him to train her, and then he flicks it up and then just kind of shifts her over a little bit, and it falls right
Just a
back
little
into
bit. Yeah.
place.
Right. Yeah, because if he didn't move her head just a little bit, that sword would have fallen like right on her, which is I thought that was just fun thing to throw into it, just
Yep.
to show that he's a badass.
shows us a badass, and it just kind of helps alleviate some of all the tension that's going on in this episode because there's
Yep.
been so much. Like this show is very just kind of heart pounding the entire time because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Right? Yeah, no idea. You don't know if someone that you think is important is going to die soon because people are, in these past couple episodes, have just been dying left and right. You
Yep.
think they're going to make it, and just like, okay, well, so much for trying to get to know him.
Yeah, it's kind of Game of Thrones esque where it's like, yeah, don't like that guy because he might not make it very long.
Yeah, right. But I
Uh,
think we do. I think it's fair to say that we have a solid crew now. We have
yep.
Gabi Maru, getting up there. We have our the chick, the ninja
Uh,
chick. Anyway, whatever her name is, we'll find it in a minute. She's walking around with the other Asaman in the tree. So there,
Yuzuriha, by the way.
Yuzuriha, there it is. Thank you. And then the two brothers, and I'm super interested in these brothers right now because blonde brother, he's got this power to him. He's snapping off these arms off of these things like nobody's business. He's just squeezing them apart, and he's ready to eat them too. So that's crazy. So I wonder if they can like tap into a tiny bit of the elixir if they eat some of these monsters or something.
That is what the with Dashi, right?
Doshi?
Doshi, yes. That's what the Doshi asked. So I'm wondering if by eating these creatures, they kind of are tapping into it just a smidgen.
I can see it. I mean, if this if these Tencent are getting their elixirs through humans, essentially by breaking them down, I'm like, well, what if you just break down a little bit of Tencent or a little bit of these monsters and just restart the cycle that way or in reverse?
Yep. And then, I mean, I can imagine the creatures being human at one point because we find out that Hoko, the tree guy, was a human to begin with.
Right?
And so
Yeah,
I,
him and his old tribe. Yeah.
I have to imagine they were all humans at one point.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, if they weren't completely decomposed into those flowers, then they had a slight transformation.
Yep. We do get some really good information that, this there was one person that seemed to be experimenting essentially the three separate religious functions, factions, however you want to say it,
Yeah,
and was this is all an experiment by this individual. So
right.
I'm wondering if that's going to be like the final boss kind of person.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, this isn't because we started the season where it was like Buddhist and like one other thing or something like that. With That's what it seemed like. But now we're getting more narrowed down to yeah, this is an experiment, and maybe much like Doctor Stone, where there might be one single mind behind everything. That this is just going to be our final boss, and he's going to be someone interesting. So yeah, I'm interested to know what happens further out of this religion that this dude wanted to create on this island.
Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, going to be season two or beyond
Oh yeah,
information, so we're not going to get it for a minute. But to go back to what happened in this episode, I really just kind of want to finish up with Gabimaru and the beginning of the episode
sure.
because it was pretty intense. I like the fact that they were doing that like mind manipulation against each other, where they were both basically they were killing each other in just through oh man, by like visually seeing them killing each other.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? The
I think so. Like they're trying to hype each other out. Like, are you talking about like when Gabimaru got on his knees and begged?
no
Oh
before.
no.
So it was when the very beginning of the episode, and basically they're talking. They're at a standstill with each other, and Gabimaru and the Tomoya were just kind of like psyching each other out is the best way I can think of it, where they were both
Intimidating.
doing mental images against each other to
Sure.
see who was mentally stronger than the other one.
Yeah, I'm running a small blank on it, but I can see what you're talking about.
Yep. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I mean, Gabimaru is just kind of like, hey, I'm not the Hollow anymore. I have a reason why I want to go home. So
Hmm.
I need to change to figure it out.
Yeah, and the Tamiya guy, he's totally on board with it now because he doesn't care about getting pardoned. He's more interested in essentially letting his name live on, not necessarily being taking the elixir for himself to long live personally, but just so his memory and his name lives on. So that's pretty interesting. He just wants a good legacy.
Yeah, he wants to be immortal by his name alone,
Mm.
which I think is kind of cool. It's very it I can't remember, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but it's a worthy goal to
Sure.
have that, this is how he wants to live. So it also works out in Gabimaru's favor, just happens, of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so now they can work together
Yeah.
cleanly at least.
Yep.
Yeah, the last part really is little May. She grows a little bit older somehow. She pulls a Nezuko. Now she can, she grows, and she can speak now. And this is where we start to learn what Tao is, kind
Yep.
of, because she's
Yeah,
still learning her words.
she's explaining it just at the same time as Hoko is
Hmm.
explaining it to Yuzuriha and then the two Asaman that are with her.
Yep.
So I think it's really cool. I'm hoping episode 11 will dive into it more. Maybe Gabimaru gets like I'm trying to just kind of like it just kind of clicks where what she's saying and what he kind of knows, because I have to imagine he kind of is already using it now because of
And the
everything they're
ninjutsu
describing
stuff.
it. Yep.
Yeah. And we're just gonna learn that he's gonna better learn how to use it. So that's what I'm gonna expect out of that.
Yep. We also do find a weakness, their naval area. So
Yep, their lower halves, something like that. So I want to see that flushed out a little bit more and see exactly how that can be exploited.
yep. Yep. But that's all we got for this episode. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure to check out the anime show on Facebook and Instagram. Please give us a like on here, drop us a comment, and let us know what you think of this episode. And catch us for the next one. Have a good one.
There, guys.